sufficiency on the continent. These people include political leadership, technocrats, innovators, and academia. I have seen people drawn from across the academia here in this country and from outside the country. I've seen members of Sadc in different spheres. We, like I said, are waiting for the president to arrive here. Just for an update. Everybody has arrived. The conversation really around energy has become very fundamental as we look at the figures that put the current status of energy sufficiency on the continent at around 600 million people on the continent without electricity. A third of them are indeed here in the Sadc region, and we hope that this conversation that is really picking up momentum will come up with solutions of how this region and the African continent can confront these challenges of energy sufficiency. But to continue the conversation, I had earlier spoken to the Executive Director of Sadc, who's the host partner of the summit. I'll continue this conversation with Ms. Karen Gibson, who is the chairperson of the Solar Industry Association in the country, to just talk about this issue. You will know that solar has been identified as one of the renewable energy sector that Botswana could diversify into. Let me welcome you, Karen, to the studio.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited about the anticipation and the opening of the event. I'm excited to meet all of the international delegates as well as the regional and the local delegates that are joining us.
The conversation around energy sufficiency on the continent, from your perspective, what do you understand, especially when you look at this country?
Well, Botswana still has a deficit of electricity, and we're still importing electricity from our neighboring countries. We also have a regional deficit, which means that there is still a lot of space for the adoption of solar technologies. There's also the possibility for photovoltaic, which is electricity generation, as well as the thermal side, which means that it would relieve some of that deficit.
From the organization that you represent here today, let's talk about the solar energy status in the country. Where are we in terms of consumption, in terms of interest, in terms of infrastructure?
So solar in particular, we're looking at a country demand of over 600 megawatts currently. And the IRP has been adopted since 2021, I believe, and recently reviewed to accelerate some of the targets that we have in adopting 50% of renewable energy by 2036. So we also have some rollout plans that have been being developed in the thermal side as well as the PV side. We've also seen some of the mini grids being awarded recently. There's also planning for some off-grid introduction and also some adoption of various technologies.
Just to interrupt you, let me acknowledge the arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Advocate Duma Boko. Like I did say earlier on, he is going to perform the official opening of the ceremony. You will remember that about 4 weeks ago, he was in Tanzania for the same conversation for the Africa Mission 300, which is really to make sure that by 2020, 300 million Africans are brought on board, are brought onto the grid. So really this conversation has trickled down to the continent, to the region. So we expect him to officiate the ceremony and really just talk to the status, the agency that we need as countries to move to bring the citizens of Africa onto the grid.
Thank you. Thank you, Botswana Defense Force Band. A huge round of applause for them. You may take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Ketokile Mogolokwane for these fine gentlemen and ladies, but I shall take it in debt. Whoever who has a Mogolokwane, kindly do the honors. As you were. Thank you. Distinguished guests, esteemed dignitaries, energy pioneers, policy makers, innovators here in Botswana, the Sadc region, the African continent, and across the world. Good morning and welcome to the 2024 Sadc Sustainable Energy Week.
What an honor it is indeed to stand before you today as you and I witness and participate in a transformative gathering that will shape the energy landscape of our region. A first of its kind in the Sadc region, with an objective to promote opportunities in the renewable energy efficiency sectors and programs along the energy value chain. My name is Oratile Jazal Kevakile. I'm a communications specialist, and I am delighted to be standing alongside my esteemed colleague in the business of microphones and podiums at premium gatherings like this. He is an entrepreneur in the digital space, a sought-after high-level panel moderator, and an all-round really nice guy with a very sharp mind. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mudiri Mugende.
Thank you, Jazz. I feel like a speaker now. Please do catch us up later during the break if you want to know a little bit more about us. However, we are here this week, which is a defining moment for our region, under the theme Accelerating Sustainable Energy Solutions for an Energy Secure Sadc Region. Can I get a round of applause for that theme? We are not only here to talk, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to forge partnerships, mobilize resources, and commit to real and tangible solutions that will power the energy policy agenda and its fundamental drivers of as a fundamental driver of economic growth, social development, and environmental preservation. So every conversation you're going to hear for the rest of the week, in every panel and every connection you make, it's a step closer to activating the theme of this gathering.
Well said, my dear friend Mudiri. I do believe you are a speaker, sir. Before we continue, let's welcome the SHE officer at this establishment, the Grand Palm Hotel Casino Convention Resort, to take us through the safety moment. Godfrey, we are fully trusting that you are immediately a few seconds away from us to make your way to the stage to deliver the SHE moment. Thank you so much. Ke a go leboga kgaitsedi ka gore o bo lebile nako ka tsela eo o sa tlhoka go utlwa leina la gago. Ke a leboga. A re mo amogele batho.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Benjamin, and I'm a SHE officer. I'm standing on behalf of Godfrey Zala. As we are here, I will start with the doors in this hotel, this hall. All the exits on this hall are all working. So in case of emergency, you can use them as in your exit doors. We don't have any planned fire drill taking place. As you can hear this fire alarm going on, which means there will be an emergency, and our emergency team will be available to come and assist you. From here, if you go outside the main entrance as you are entering in, our fire assembly checkpoint is there, that's in front of the door. So from here, if you use any doors from on our left-hand side, there will be the restrooms for men and ladies. So that's all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Godfrey.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Re Godfrey, and thank you very much to the Grand Palm for ensuring our safety. Well, if you didn't catch that safety, health, and environment moment, I do assure you, if you can just make your way to the entry point that you came through, you will be received by ushers who will assist you in the event of any emergency. Now, I believe that I would be sharing a sentiment with our fellow delegates here in the Zodilo Suite at the GICC in Gaborone, Botswana, when I say that there is a powerful, positive energy in this room because of the powerful minds and voices in this room. Distinguished speakers that shall shortly grace the stage during the ceremony will acknowledge the dignitaries amidst all of us delegates as national protocol requires. So please do anticipate their salutations, which will most likely feature more names and details than the ones we shall share shortly. In this moment, we are most humbled as your directors of proceedings to deliver the first salutations of the morning, to give you a strong indication of the power, the positive energy in this room. We do welcome and highly recommend your applause at the end of this approved list of salutations. However, wherever you are right now, should your spirit move you to applause or ululate at any moment of these powerful names being mentioned, please feel free to do so. The President of the Republic of Botswana, Advocate Duma Gideon Boko, Vice President of the Republic of Botswana and Minister of Finance, Ndaba Nkosinathi Haolati. Sadc Executive Secretary, Your Excellency Elias M. Mahosi. Our Minister of Minerals and Energy, Republic of Botswana, and your host for this week, Honorable Bokolo Joy Kenewendo. Honorable ministers and esteemed ministerial delegations in the energy sectors of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia, Zimbabwe, United Republic of Tanzania, and the Kingdom of Eswatini, Rala Mugela.
Honorable ministers, assistant ministers, and members of parliament for the Republic of Botswana, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Minerals and Energy, Pelaelo Kokwe, all permanent secretaries here present, event co-host and executive director at the Sadc Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, Mr. Kudakwashe Nklukulo, event partner and Director General of the International Renewable Energy Agency, Mr. Francisco La Camara.
Event partner and deputy to the Director General, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, Mr. Seong Zhu. Captains of industry, all media houses, news reporters, photographers aplenty here present. We acknowledge you all, and we now welcome that applause. Raleboga. And of course, Dumelang, Murumere, Bonjour, Sawubona, Assalamu alaikum, Ola, Tutuben, hello to you, and Asante Sana to you for watching or listening to these proceedings of the 2024 Sadc Sustainable Energy Week from the various platforms including BTV, Gabs FM, the official Facebook pages of the Botswana government, the Ministry of Minerals and Energy Facebook page, SADCEnergyWeek.org, and the Sadc Sustainable Energy Week Facebook page. Now, Mr. Mugende, my friend, without further ado, please make me proud and introduce our host for this week.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jez. A round of applause for the amazing Giselle. Now to introduce our next speaker. As Botswana's Minister of Minerals and Energy, she is leading the charge towards a resilient, energy, secure future, one that prioritizes sustainability, innovation, and regional collaboration. She is an economist by trade, but I believe a minister by service. I trust you'll agree with that. Recently, those who do watch the news would have seen her. She was at the forefront and led the delegation that landed an incredible new deal for Botswana and its mining partner DPS, truly securing Botswana's future. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, please join me in welcoming the exquisite Honorable Boholo Joy Kenewindo to deliver the welcome remarks. Good to see you. Emma.
Thank you, Mudiri. Thank you, Giselle. Mr. President, President Advocate Duma Gideon Boko, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Sadc Executive Secretary, Re Mahosi, ministers from across the Sadc region, ministers from Botswana and assistant ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, event partners from UNIDO and SACRI, permanent secretaries from the government of Botswana and across the region. Pardon me, I think I saw the permanent secretary to the president a little earlier. Oh, there she is. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media corps, I wish to welcome you here with a heartfelt pula. I know for some it has been a difficult week with the heavy rains that we have already experienced. But as the President aptly described it during his address, it is both a blessing that we receive so much rain. We expect good pasture, and we expect good tidings and blessings with the rain. But we do recognize some of the challenges that the rain has brought to over 1,000 households, those that have been displaced, and some of the lives that we have lost in the last week. And I ask that we all put these households in our thoughts and our prayers as we reflect on the year ahead. And may we all recover, and may we all have a resilient year. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and a privilege to welcome you to the 2024 Sadc Sustainable Energy Week. As we gather here in our vibrant city of Gaborone, we stand at a very pivotal moment in shaping the future of energy in our region. We are pleased to be hosting the inaugural Sadc Sustainable Energy Week, and on behalf of the government of Botswana and the Ministry of Minerals, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us. In particular, the ministers, my colleagues from around the Sadc region, industry experts, researchers, and development partners who have joined us in order to champion sustainable energy solutions and to chart a way forward for development for this region and the continent over. Your presence is indeed a testament to our shared commitment to driving transformation in the energy landscape, a landscape that we understand is a facilitator for economic prosperity and development in Southern Africa. Over the past year, our region has shown remarkable resilience and progress in expanding renewable energy, enhancing regulatory framework, and fostering regional cooperation. Yet, serious challenges remain. We still have dire energy poverty, we are experiencing financing gaps, and climate change continues to test our resolve. And we indeed have to stand to this, we have to reflect on these challenges, but we certainly have to be innovative in how we respond and ensure that the responses are structural and are not just preemptive. So in this platform, we are hoping for bold ideas, meaningful collaborations, and innovative solutions that will pave the way for a future energy security, sustainability, and universal access with an equitable and affordable price. As we embark on this week of discussions, let us seize every opportunity to exchange knowledge, to explore new investment avenues, and to strengthen partnerships. It's not just about building the infrastructure. We realize, particularly because of this week, that it's also about building climate resilient infrastructure. It's also about building economic resilient infrastructure. It's about building economic agency infrastructure. And that is what we recognize energy infrastructure to be. So let us reaffirm our commitment to building a sustainable energy future that not only meets today's challenges, but empowers the generations to come. Once again, it is my utmost pleasure to welcome you to the 2024 Sadc Sustainable Energy Week. May this week inspire, may it inspire action, may it foster innovation, and may it ignite transformative change across our region. Finally, while we are confident that this conference will be enriching and productive, we also hope that you will take some time to visit and experience our beautiful and charming Gaborone and the rest of Botswana. This city and this country has a lot to offer, from its friendly people to the vibrant culture and to the well-preserved wilderness. Step outside the conference halls when you can, wander through our city and discover it. Explore the local markets and taste our delicious cuisine. We encourage you to embrace this opportunity to create lasting memories so you may return. We hope you will leave with a new knowledge of the energy industry and new partnerships and a fondness for Botswana and Gaborone and for that of Botswana. I thank you and good morning.
Thank you to you, our Honorable Kenewendo, and good morning to you, my lady. I must tell you, it's such a pleasure to see that you have selected your iconic hairstyle for today's proceedings, because last night I said to my hairstylist, Mogel, I need for you to scrupulously make sure you interpret Bogolo Kenewendo's hairstyle on my crown. And Gabona Motsadi hore o kgonne line ke eo extension ke o botsadi ha o ratile ke kopa lehofi. You're very kind, ladies and gentlemen. Our next speaker has amassed a wealth of extensive experience and a proven track record of service in the public and private sectors, spanning over a period of more than 30 years. This is hard to believe because he does not look a day older than 21. He was sworn in as the 7th Sadc Executive Secretary at the 41st Sadc Summit of Heads of State and Government held in Lilongwe, Republic of Malawi in 2021. And the Sadc Secretariat, which he calls professional home, is the principal executive institution of Sadc, responsible for strategic planning, coordination, and management of Sadc programs. Now, I think it's pretty cool that I'm one of 3,009 who can count the Sadc Secretariat on their follow list at X. And although I'm still waiting for a follow back from this next speaker, I'm glad that I can count him as one of my Facebook friends. Now, you can also follow him. Actually, you can follow them at Sadc_news on X, and you can follow him as well at his handle, Elias Mahosi on X. I must warn you though, you will not find any dance challenge content or outfit drip checks on his page, but you will certainly be kept well informed about the Secretariat's work. Ladies and gentlemen, here now to deliver his remarks rises His Excellency Elias M. Mahosi.
My sincere apologies. I'm trying to get my system working. There we go. Thank you. There we are. Thank you very much, our directors of ceremony, and especially the energetic Giselle. Mr. President, I feel very concerned with the statements made about me when we should be celebrating you and the role that you are playing in this country. Nonetheless, I think all of us play different roles at different times. But once more to thank the two directors of ceremony for giving us an energetic start off on this important week. Advocate Duma Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana, Honorable July Moyo, Minister of Energy and Power of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the current chairperson of the committee, Sadc Committee of Ministers of Energy, Honorable Boko Joy Kenewendo, the Minister of Minerals, Energy and Energy of the Republic of Botswana, and indeed our hosts with the hairstyle that has been described, Honorable Ministers from the Sadc region and Deputy Ministers, Amanda Mist, and all other protocols are respectively observed in the interest of time. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. Allow me to extend my sincere appreciation to the government of Botswana for hosting this event through the Ministry of Minerals and Energy in collaboration with the Sadc Secretariat and the Sadc Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, or SACRI for short. I am convinced that it is through effective collaboration and our collective strength, our collective and strong commitment to engage not only on the most topical and most appropriate subject of energy access and security, but also on a subject that is critical, a critical enabler of regional economic development and integration. I wish to recognize in a special way the President of the Republic of Botswana, Advocate Duma Boko, for gracing this event and officiating to kickstart the Sadc Sustainable Energy Week, which is themed Accelerating Sustainable Energy Solutions for Energy Secure Sadc Region. Your presence, Mr. President, serves to underscore your commitment and that of the country to the energy security agenda of our region. Let me also recognize the presence of honorable ministers responsible for energy from the Sadc region, led by two ministers from Zimbabwe and Botswana. And thank them for really honoring this invitation to participate in this critical dialogue. I would also like to appreciate the smart partnership from all invited guests and indeed our international cooperating partners, including the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, the Global Network of Regional Sustainable Energy Centers, Austrian Development Corporation, and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, that was recognized earlier on, amongst many others. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sustainable Energy Week was commissioned as an annual event by a meeting of the joint ministers responsible for energy and water in May of 2024 in August, Republic of Angola, and the Republics of Botswana and Zimbabwe committed to hosting the event in 2024 and this year, respectively. Since the inaugural week could not take place in 2024, this event therefore marks the beginning of the Sadc Energy Week events. The event will feature, as has already been mentioned by the Minister, high-level presentations, panel discussions, business-to-business meetings, and network sessions, focusing on policy frameworks, investment opportunities, financing, grid integration, and renewable energy technologies for a just energy transition. Energy security and universal access to energy remain critical catalysts for regional integration and true economic development across all sectors and across all member states. The Sadc region continues to face power shortages due primarily to inadequate infrastructure development across the board, and in recent times, the debilitating effects of climate change. Currently, in terms of the regional energy mix, coal makes 60% of energy generation, whilst hydropower accounts for 24%, with renewable energy trailing at around 10%. Climate change has unfortunately laid bare our limitations to ascertain a sustainable energy supply and its security. We do not only have to grapple with our limited and very difficult ability to minimize pollution from fossil fuels, but also we must contend with increased and harsh droughts that have made us extremely vulnerable to continue our dependence on water resources. Electricity access varies widely, with some member states like Mauritius and Seychelles having achieved universal access, while others still have access rates as low as 30%. To address this, urgent and robust investments are needed in power generation, transmission and diversification into renewable energy sources such as wind and solar energy, in addition to deliberate efforts by all of us to adopt and ensure energy efficiency at all levels. I wish to report that efforts are afoot to interconnect Angola, Malawi, and Tanzania to the Southern Africa Power Pool, or SEP, network. This to ensure that we exploit excess power in some countries to reduce the deficit in the rest others. Ladies and gentlemen, a regional approach is crucial to expanding energy markets, optimizing infrastructure development, and addressing the intermittency of renewable resources. Firstly, we are promoting development of the generation capacity to ensure security of energy supply, reliability, and availability in collaboration with member states and their agencies, including in the Democratic Republic of Congo to expedite the development of the Grand Inga hydropower project, the Republic of Mozambique on development of Mpanda Nkua hydropower, as well as Zambia and Zimbabwe for the joint development of Batoka hydropower project. The development of generation projects coupled with transmission or priority transmission projects such as the Angola, Namibia, Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique interconnectors will enhance intra-regional power trading in the SAP network while facilitating evacuation of power from the existing as well as the planned power stations such as the Grand Inga in the DRC and the Bayens hydropower between Namibia and Angola. Secondly, it has been stated that approximately 600 million people in the sub-Saharan Africa do not have access to electricity, 600 million. And out of this figure, almost 172 million, or about 29%, are Sadc citizens, given the region's current access rate of 56%. Therefore, it is my appeal that we intensify the level of access to electricity by creating and indeed embracing innovative financing mechanisms and alternative access solutions. This should include dedicated funds for electrification, institutional arrangements such as establishment of rural electrification agencies, as well as diversifying technological approaches, including grid extensions, smart grid technologies, and especially off-grid solutions to target most of our rural and disadvantaged population. This may include renewable energy-based microgrids and standalone solar systems, amongst many others. Lastly, and equally important, we must address the issue of affordability head-on, as well as the creation of an enabling environment for increased participation of investors and other players, including independent power producers, or IPPs as they call them, independent transmission system operators in the energy supply industry. We have observed that member states, through the establishment of energy regulators, are slowly, painfully slowly, migrating towards cost-reflective tariffs with a pro-poor element to ensure that basic electricity needs are met on a monthly basis while promoting investment in the energy supply industry. It is also encouraging to note that some of the member states have introduced almost zero electricity connection fees to tackle the issue of affordability and access. The above steps are indeed commendable, and where possible, they should be replicated across our region. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fully aware that energy infrastructure projects require substantial financial resources, which governments often do lack. We therefore appeal to member states and cooperating partners to support priority energy infrastructure projects that are outlined in the Sadc Regional Infrastructure Development Master Plan, short-term action plan, which has a financing gap of approximately 18 billion for the entire region, 18 billion US dollars. We also urge member states to urgently ratify and facilitate operationalization of the Sadc Regional Development Fund, which has been designed to mobilize resources from both traditional and non-traditional sources for regional projects, including what we are discussing here today, energy infrastructure projects. The Secretariat is also coordinating implementation of strategic frameworks to enhance energy access, improve energy security, while promoting sustainable energy solutions. These include the Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Strategic and Action Plan of 2016 to promote renewable energy and energy efficiency adoption, and the Energy Renewable Access Strategy and Action Plan of 2020 to support off-grid technology development for rural energy access. The Secretariat will continue to work with SAP and SACRE as a center of excellence to promote renewable energy and energy efficiency and exploit the vast potential of renewable energy resources as we continue to address low energy access and energy insecurity. It is in this regard that I again appeal to member states to urgently ratify the intergovernmental memorandum of agreement on the establishment of SACRE to enable it to effectively execute its mandate as a center of excellence. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I need to assure you that this inaugural Sadc Sustainable Energy Week indeed provides a unique platform for truly, as the Minister said, meaningful discussions that will translate, hopefully, into tangible and impactful solutions and related projects. We, at the Secretariat, in collaboration with SACRE and other partners, remain committed to implementing the resolutions that will emanate from this event to drive regional energy development and integration. We therefore look forward to collaborating with all of you at the second edition of the Sadc Sustainable Energy Week that will be held in Zimbabwe, where we will review progress made on resolutions from this week and other related programs of the region addressing energy access and security. It is only when we measure our progress and hold ourselves accountable as a collective here that we can make a positive and lasting impact. This reflection will ensure, in my view, that this Energy Week or Energy Week events are not just simply talk shops with very little to show for, but are worth every effort and resources deployed to host them as we are doing today. I thank you very much for your attention. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Asante sana. Tatenda. Hialeboha.
I believe the clarion call is very clear for those in the room and the region. The need to utilize sustainable energy and methods to secure our future is now. Thank you, Your Excellency Elias Mahosi. Let's give him one last round of applause. He spoke a lot about electricity generation and all in the region. Now, I think in African spirit, it does exist in human form to electrify this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to get ready to witness a performance that will not only leave you at all, but mesmerized. This is not just dance. This is storytelling, energy, and raw African excellence coming to life on stage. I said they are electrifying. I've warned you. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, the amazing Mopato Dance Theater.
Yeah, I can hear the chairperson of the Mogolokwane committee is certainly in the building. Like Mudiri told you, he did give you a fair warning, electrifying in one word, and please do not excuse the pun. Congratulations indeed to the brilliant creative tribe that is Mopato Dance Theatre for another powerful performance on a high-level stage in Botswana. See, that's what these guys do for a living, and actually, I'll tell you this, one of them is teaching me how to dance. So please look out for my dance challenge coming very soon sometime this year. Until then, Honorable Kenowendo, I was in a proverbial arm wrestling match with Mudiri's personal assistant yesterday to determine who gets the privilege of introducing you this morning. Well, as we witnessed, my lady, the winner's boss got to introduce you during the welcome remarks, but I'm feeling very well compensated now in this moment to have the opportunity to receive you on your stage as you return this time to usher in our guest of honor, Advocate Duma Boko, the President of the Republic of Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming her back to the podium, your host, our Minister for Minerals and Energy, Bogolo Joy Kenowendo.
Good morning again, Mr. President. I didn't realize I had I had taken the honor away from Giselle. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my utmost pleasure to introduce you to the 6th President of the Republic of Botswana, Advocate Duma Gideon Boko, who many of you would know as a lawyer, an advocate, a human rights lawyer who is now really making sure that we recognize that a government should be looking after the people's human rights, that a government should be pushing for a rules-based governance system. And as we'll recall, that he took over government in November, and he has since ushered a new wave of change through the party of the UDC. And I wish that you all rise to help me welcome him to the podium as he shares the vision that he has for Botswana, for the region. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Advocate Duma Gideon Boko.
Let me begin by gratefully acknowledging the energy, the verve, and the vitality of the creatives who blessed us with their electrifying performance just now. They reminded us that we shall not always march to the habitual beats of a single drum. We shall dance to many drums beating at the same time in harmony, a perfect jam session. Thank you so very much. Let me recognize you, ladies and gentlemen, one and all in your eminent stations, offices, and positions. And breach protocol, and regard you as but equals before the law. And so recognize you in one fell swoop in that manner. Thank you so very much. It is an honor and a great privilege for me to be here to deliver this opening address at this inaugural Sadc Sustainable Energy Week conference, aptly themed Accelerating Sustainable Energy Solutions for an Energy Secure Sadc Region. Accelerating. Injecting some verve, some energy, some vitality, some speed, some agility, accelerating. That's what the theme says. And so we are here to inject that much needed impetus, that energy. This conference brings together various stakeholders in the energy sector to discuss modalities of increasing energy access to our people. We need to acknowledge that energy is a basic human need. It is a fundamental human right. And so there is need to improve and accelerate our capacity for generating and distributing energy in its various forms with a leaning to renewable energy sources. Countries across the Sadc region face challenges related to energy poverty. This constrains our economies, leaving millions of our people, especially in the rural areas, without access to critical services like health, education, communication, and such like. A clarion call for an energy-secure region is, therefore, urgent in order to drive industrialization and integration of our economies in pursuit of fulfilling the vision of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Your Excellencies, as a member of the Global Village, Botswana and other Sadc states have acceded to some agreements and treaties, among which are the Paris Agreement and the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol signed in 2016, the Nationally Determined Contributions, NDCs, towards reduction of carbon emissions by 2030, the 2030 Agenda, Sustainable Development Goals, and the recent Dar es Salaam Declaration of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, implementation of energy supply strategies needs collective efforts as it transcends our boundaries. No single country can do this alone. A sustainable energy future requires deep cooperation across borders. By developing regional energy projects, harmonizing our policies, and sharing best practices, we can maximize the benefits of our collective resources. I am therefore encouraged to see existing collaborations in the energy sector, such as the Sadc Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, SACRE, for promoting wide adoption of renewables and energy efficiency in the region. The Southern Africa Power Pool, SAP, paving the way for a more integrated SADC electricity market, and the Regional Energy Regulators Association, advancing harmonization of the SADC energy regulatory environment for the development of a sustainable regional energy market. This signals a convergence of understanding of the urgency of meeting sustainable, accessible, and affordable energy supply. It therefore behooves us as a region to honor what we have pledged to do, thus moving from rhetoric to action. Let us continue to leverage upon these successes, recognizing that our strength lies in unity. Distinguished delegates, let me urge each member state in the SADC region to prioritize sustainable energy policies in their national development agendas. We should incentivize renewable energy and energy efficiency projects and initiatives, enforce environmental protections, and establish clear roadmaps for a just and equitable energy transition, which is relevant to the realities of our countries and our region. As a region, let us set tangible targets, not only to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, but also to increase our use of renewables. In Botswana, we've set ourselves a target to scale up electricity production to at least 8,000 megawatts within the next 4 years, as part of our ongoing efforts to modernize our power sector with a strategic shift towards a solar-dominated energy industry. We believe that by doing this, we would have laid the foundation for a more sustainable and competitive energy landscape. Investing in sustainable energy is not only an environmental decision, but an economic imperative. It is estimated that Africa could meet over 60% of its energy needs through renewables by 2050. In the SADC region, we have vast renewable resources: solar, wind, hydropower, and geothermal, which can be exploited for socio-economic benefit. In this regard, I encourage the development of well-planned energy systems, appropriate and consistent policy and regulatory frameworks, responsive financing mechanisms, and well-capacitated institutions to harness this potential. We can unlock these resources to power our industries, homes, and public institutions through development of appropriate value chains. To the captains of industry, I encourage private sector participation, as they have the ability to mobilize private capital. From small and medium enterprises to global investors, we invite you to partner with us, not only to build infrastructure, but to cultivate the talent and the knowledge necessary to sustain it. I call upon you to be innovative and exploit the available value chains to create jobs and grow the economies of our countries. Ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize that we are committed to a sustainable, energy-secure SADC region. Today, we are planting the seeds of change. Together with the support of each government, private sector, development partners, and other stakeholders, we can create a Sadc region where provision of energy services can create the necessary jobs for our people. Let us act boldly, for we owe it to ourselves, to current generations, and to generations yet to come. Let me conclude by expressing my gratitude that Botswana has been afforded this opportunity to host this inaugural conference. I am hopeful that the outcomes of this conference will benefit all our countries and bring the much needed developments. It is my pleasure at this point to wish you fruitful conference deliberations, and I therefore declare the 2024 Sadc Sustainable Energy Week Conference officially open. Thank you for the pleasure of your company and the privilege of your attention. Thank you so very much.
Mr. President, thank you. I'd like to request, Mr. President, could you kindly just wait as we will be presenting a token of appreciation, my kind sir, kindly. At this stage, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage the Executive Director at Sadc, Mr. Kudakwashe Nklukula, to come present the token of appreciation. They are joined by the Executive Secretary and our host minister.
Mr. President, would like to present to you a token of appreciation. This is a piece of art that has been made by the son of the soil, Mr. Moloki Matlale, a paint artist from Tapong Visual Arts Center. He's from the Kweneng region. This piece of art, we hope you appreciate it. Yes, please feel free.
It's aptly wrapped, one may say. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy your gift. You may take your seats.
Thank you very much, Modiri, and thank you very much indeed to the organizers for arranging such an appropriate and beautiful presidential image there for our guest of honor. Well, at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw close to the end of the official opening program, before we break into the rest of the week itself with its plenary sessions. At this moment, we wish to invite everyone who is in the couch area. I understand that your tagline reads VIP. You are invited to kindly grace the stage for a photo opportunity with our president. And I do believe that protocol officers are on standby to assist accordingly where required. Once again, this is an invitation to our dignitaries in the white couches to kindly join us on stage for a group photo. And that group photo will then be followed by our vote of thanks. Shortly after our vote of thanks, then we'll be getting into the closing of our sessions with the national anthem. Well, I've just been given an indication with the earpiece that you cannot see that if we can please just conduct the group photo shoot to be followed by the vote of thanks by the Minister of Energy and Power Development from Zimbabwe. Thank you so much. Protocol officers, counting on you to assist our dignitaries accordingly for the photo shoot. Otherwise, Mr. DJ.
I believe the press corps will be congregating here at the front for the group photo.
Thank you very much indeed to our dignitaries for making their way to the stage for the matter of the group photo with our guest of honor. Shortly after this group photo takes place, we will be receiving our vote of thanks. That is the final keynote, well, that is the final official address for the official opening. Shortly after that, of course, is the tour of the exhibition stands. And of course, this high-level delegation that is taking photos in this very moment will be leading the proceedings to the tours for the exhibition stands. And yes, indeed, dear delegate, you are also invited to take a look at the exhibition stands and engage with those that are exhibiting. Thank you so much for your kind patience as we ensure these very important logistics. Please do make sure before you leave our country this week to pick up one of the newspapers in the country so that you can see this moment as it is documented in the media. Over to you, Modiri.
May we rise? Thank you.
Semmuso ya phuthego ya Sadc Sustainable Energy Week e tla jalo ko motsubong re sa tswa go amogela jalo molaetsa ka tautona advocate Duma Boko gongwe motho ka tlopela dintlha di le pedi di le tharo mo molaetseng wa gagwe wa gompieno. I think ntlha ya ntlha tota ke go supa gore o ne a dirisa lefoko la sekgwa la reng acceleration a ra gone jalo gore maiteko kana le moga jalo gore maiteko go tswa go lwantsha dirwa go ketsa kgothetso mo kgaolong ya borwa jwa Afrika kana mo kgaolong ya Afrika ka kakaretso mme jaanong a tlhalosa gore go tshwanetse ga fefoswa lebelo la go netefatsa jalo gore segolobogolo ka 2030 maAfrika otlhe a bojalo a kgona go nna le yone kgothetso kana ke ka re motlakase ke go gakola jalo gore lehatshe la Botswana le setse le dirile maiteko a go netefatsa gore 75% ya Batswana ba nna le motlakase mme go setse jalo gore by 2030 Batswana botlhe tota puso ipuetse selo sa gore by 2030 100% ya Batswana ba bo ba kgona go nna jalo le one motlakase mme jaaka ke ne ke tlhalosa tautona a re lebelo le tshwanetse la fefosiwa go gaisa ka gore tiego ke go dia ditoro tse dingwe tsa mahatsa a Afrika kana dikeletso tota ko mo kgaolong ena yone ya Sadc the Sadc Industrialization Strategy ya 2030 e supa jalo gore ba ikelela jalo gore madirelo e be e le one boremelelo mo kgaolong ena ya borwa jwa Afrika mme ga go sena jalo one motlakase gore a jalo gore madirelo ga a ka ke a kgona go nna teng go nka se kgona bua gore energy sustainability is also an economic imperative. Me tautona tlhalosa jalo gore go tshwanetse jalo ga netefatsa gore go nna le one motlakase kana kgothetso segolo bogolo e sa kgotleleng loapi renewable energy ka ke yone mo nakong ya gompieno e ka dirang jalo gore mahatshe a tlege mo go diragatseng yalo the Paris Declaration ya decarbonization me ha go mahatsantse a le ka jalo go tswa mo go diriseng kgothetso e tsamaisiwang ka magala o itse jalo gore mo lehatsheng la Botswana kgothetso 90% ya no tswa mo magaleng go tshwanetse jalo ka bonya mahatshe a tswa mo kgothetsong eo ka mo nakong ya gompieno go tlhaloswa ha e kgotlela loapi o itse jalo gore mo lehatsheng la Botswana tota mo bekeng eno we can relate very well re sa tswa go bona jalo gongwe merwalela e hetang jaaka re ne re ntse re itse mo dipakeng tsena tsa pula mo lehatsheng leno mme ka jalo gore a tlhagisa gore ha go direla jalo gone ko magaleng go ka bogontse go dira maiteko a gone go netefatsa gore kgaolo ya borwa jwa Afrika kana le kgaolo ya Afrika ka kakaretso go nna le mogoteng decarbonization mme ke tlhaloso jalo gore yone phuthego ya sustainable tota jalo sustainable energy week ya lekgotla lona la Sadc go nahano le matona a tswang mo kgaolong ya Sadc a ka tshwara bosupa kone a tseneng jalo phuthego e ka tota phuthego e la matona mme godimo ga mo go na le batho ba tseneng phuthego jaaka no ntse bona mo ditshwantshong se ba ka tshwara 500 gareng ga bone go le baitsanape gareng ga bone go le bagwebi gareng ga bone go le ba ileng gore ba dira dipatlisiso ka gale le gale go netefatsa jalo gore jaaka go ntse go dira gone mo go teng just transition kana go dua mo kgotetsong yone ena ya mo go dirisiwa magala kana kgotetso ya tsamaiso ye go teng e kgotlela lewapi go be go dira dipatlisiso tse di ka supang jalo gore mahatsi a ka tswa jalo mo thulaganyong eo jang a ya gone mo go teng renewable energy kana yone decarbonization me ke lebelela jalo dintlha tse dingwe tse di builweng ke tautona o tlhalose jalo gore sustainable energy ha ya ka go lebile ano renewable energy it is also an environmental imperative gongwe jaaka ke ntse ke bua ke gore go dira jalo ke go tlhokomela le yone tikologo mme le hatse la Botswana Motswana we tshulesetse le ntse le dirile maiteko a tsweletseng segolo bogolo go laletsa jalo mohama o ikemetseng ka nosi go nna le seabe mo go tsa kgotetso tla gakologela jalo gore mo ngwageng tse pedi tse di hetileng puso ene a simolosa jalo one madirelo a kgotetso ka kokgalong ya mmadinare a go tla bong go dirisiwa jalo tota mo ka teng solar energy ke gore go e harvesta e be e dira jalo gore e nne yone motlakase mme le ka ha bo mamashia kana mamabula go na le engwe tiro e tsweletseng ya go netefatsa jalo gore go nna go ntse go tsewa jone letsatsi le lentsi le le mo lehatsheng leno go fetolwa yone tsamaiso ya kgotetso e le one maiteko a dirwang ke lehatshe la Botswana mme sengwe se se nnang se tswa gale le gale ke gone gore to transition into green energy ke selo se e leng gore segolo bogolo se batla madi mme mahatshe a tshwana la Botswana a ka tswana le maamiso e tshwana jalo letsatsi jaaka ke ntse ke buile gongwe le phefo kana wind energy mme se se tona se tshwanetseng sa nna teng ke gone gore madi a nne teng go dira jalo yone that infrastructure gore go kgone gore mahatshe a ba ka kgona go ona jalo a kola meamuso e leng teng a sa khotlele tikologo mme a re boele mo teng Motswana we tsoka tiro e ga se gore e wetse e santse e tsweletse
Energy Week. We are happy that Botswana wanted to hold it in 2024 and please remember today we are still in 2024 so that Zimbabwe can hold it in 2025 even if we hold it in 2026. Mr. President, your insightful remarks have underscored the urgent need for regional collaboration in addressing the challenges of energy access, energy security, sustainability, and innovation in our region. Your vision for our future, where sustainable energy and energy efficiency is the kingpin of inclusive socio-economic growth and environmental resilience, is one we all share and strive to realize. I would like to extend our appreciation to the government of Botswana, Sadc Secretariat, and our SACRI organization for organizing this event. Let me also extend our gratitude to the people of Botswana, the hotels, those who have given our hospitality. We feel at home. But our feeling at home, Mr. President, will not be complete if we don't have Mopani worms, because Botswana is the home of Mopani worms, and there you are more competitive than anybody else in our region. And I've already made the request to the Executive Secretary. Special gratitude goes to the Botswana Defense Force, which was able to deliver our three anthems of the AU, of the Sadc, and indeed of Botswana. We are very thankful. Additionally, we also recognize the tremendous efforts of the event partners, the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, our Austrian friends, the Austrian Development Agency, and Soul Train. And we do recognize all the sponsors, the exhibitors, and stakeholders who have worked tirelessly towards this event. Your dedication to advancing the sustainable energy agenda is commendable and essential for the prosperity of our region. Mr. President, as we proceed with the deliberations over the course of this week, let me say we must be guided by your vision. We must remember and take your words as a clarion call to what we energy ministers, stakeholders, private sector, and everyone in this region and our partners, we must take the clarion call that you have given us as something that we must accomplish. And we call upon our Secretariat to work tirelessly to make sure that this energy, which gives energy to all our sectors of the economy, must be the engine that drives our economic development in our area. Once again, Mr. President, we thank you for gracing this occasion and for your continued leadership in advancing sustainable energy in Botswana, but also across the region. Thank you all, and may this week be productive and transformative for the future of energy in the Sadc region. And given that we have rain, I must end by saying Pula. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Moyo. Thank you for those words.
Honorable Moyo go tswa ka ko Zimbabwe. You know, Mudiri, when Honorable July Moyo began his closing note there, mentioning that the delegation would feel entirely further at home if, I honestly thought he was going to say if he could take a bride for the delegation, because I was certainly ready to raise my left hand and indicate the availability.
You were about to volunteer. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly note that we are about to receive the national anthems once again. And please also further note that the President, Advocate Duma Boko, and his delegation shall depart after the singing of the anthems.
That's absolutely right, Mudiri. Immediately after these national anthems, as a way to close the ceremony, presidential delegation will be making their way swiftly, passing by the tour to say hello to the exhibitors, and then making their way forward for the rest of the day. However, our host minister may be with us a little bit later, because I do believe I saw her name in a ministerial panel discussion that will be taking place a little bit later. In fact, as we prepare for the national anthems, let me remind you that we will be getting into a tea break very shortly. And do enjoy your tea and coffee break. We'll be reconvening in this very room for the main plenary with remarks by key partners. So we'll see you a little bit later for that. Until then, please join us in rising to acknowledge the national anthems. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
E wela jalo pulo semmuso ya Sadc Energy Summit ya itlebeng e tsene tota mo toropokgolo Gaborone e tshwaretse jalo mo Gaborone International Convention Center me gompieno e ne le tota yone pulo semmuso ya phuthego e tla gogang yone beke yotlhe ke tlhalose jalo gore e butswe semmuso ke tautona advocate Duma Boko me ana ntsha molaetsa hello mokhutshwanyane mo e se mokhutshwanyane o nonne tota a buile ka dintlha gongwe tse di tona tse tharong ka disupa jalo a bua jalo gore energy access is an environmental and economic imperative me go bua tota go dimaga ma ba tlhalosa jalo gore it's a human rights issue motsana we se itse jalo gore e le molwela ditshwanelo tsa sotho o na ka ska a wetsa malaetsa wa gagwe a sa nang kola yone ntlha yo human rights issue gongwe a re jalo wa bo o kgoreditse motho mo botshelong jwa gagwe ga ka ska mo neela jalo tsa kgothetso o mo kgothadi tota o mo kgoreditse mo mehameng e harologaneng jaaka jalo gore o tla bo o kgoreletsa jalo gore a kgone go atlega mo isolelong ya gagwe a kgona go atlega gongwe mo go tsa thuto jaaka o itse gore mo malatsing a gompieno thuto e ikagile jalo ka maranyane kana re digitization mme ke ka mo a tlhalosang jalo gore gongwe ga o sa neele jalo motho tsa kgothetso wa bo rata ka ditshwanelo tsa setho tsa gagwe mme ke one molaetsa wa gagwe motona gore mme tota mahatshe a Afrika kana le mo borwa jwa Afrika gore a goroge ko maiteko a ka dirwa ba na le ditsatlholego tse ba di hilweng ke modimo jaaka letsatsi jaaka phego mme gore ba kgone go di dirisa ba di tlhotlhebe nne tsone kgothetso e tlhokagalang go tlhokagala jalo le private capital investment o itse jalo gore mahatshe a santse a thuthuga mme ka jalo a na le mo ka sekgwankareng competing priorities mme go tsenya jalo madi mo go tsa kgothetso le ntse le priority e le selo se go rang jalo gore se go tla bo go ja thata mo sekgwameng sa puso mme ka jalo ba eletsa gore ha mo ikemetseng ka nosi o nne le sabe thata mo go tsa kgothetso mme motswana o ke tlhalosa jalo gore phuthego e tla bentse sweletse jalo mo bekeng e yotlhe gona le baitsanape beng ba dikitso kana ba ba tsamaisang jalo dipatlisiso gona le jalo ba eteledipele mo mohameng wa tsamaiso puso mo mohameng wa tsa sepolotiki go tla go buisana ka dintlha tse le go tswa ka ditharabollo tsa sennela ruri go netefatsa gore kgaolo ya Afrika e mo nakong ya gompieno go tlhalosiwang gore 600 million ya batho ba one ga bana one motlakase kana ke re tsa kgothetso e ka re ka 2030 ba bo ba atlegile mo go tsone tsena tsa kgothetso mme sengwe motswana se se tona se se diragalang ha gape ke gone gore go na le batho ba dirileng jalo ditshupetso tsa maiteko kana innovations tse ba di dirang go netefatsa yone that energy access universal access mo kgaolong ya Afrika ka ngwaga 2030 mongwe wa batho ba leng gone hana kana gongwe ke re company le nteng gone hana ke yone ya EVM tota ya monogae ke re dikolo tsone tse tsa motlakase tse go sa leng go ntse go bua ka tsone ke bang ba ba lekang go supa sabe sa bone mo mohameng ona wa tsa kgothetso mme ke na le tota ke re coordinator ya national e-mobility Dr. Komaje ke a go amogela re maje ke re a re simolehela re bue ka gone gore phuthego e sa tswa go bula gompieno e tsamaelana jang le sele le kang go se dira ko national e-mobility
ke a leboga ke file ke dumedisa le batswana ko gae nya e tsamaela le e-mobility tota that's exactly what we are here for ka gore go sala go lemogile gore mo nakong e tang motakase o ta shota mme ebile motakase o ntse mo dirisiwa go utlwala gore ebile o kgotala loapi mme rona re le ko battery ko electric mobility ne le gone gore re ka hokotsa jang so kgang go le gone gore ka hokotsa so go hokotsa teng ke gone gore go hokotsa go kgotala loapi go re dirisa go le tsela gore ga di tshubi petrolo mme ebile di hokotsa go dirisa motakase o e leng gore o dira gore tikologo e kgothalesege mme kana rona mo Botswana ka itse re ipeile tota mo magaleng mme sene president a se bua le gompieno ntse a se gatelela ke gore a re diriseng clean energy diriseng maranyana a letsatsi re diriseng metlholo e mengwe gape e leng gore e teng e le gore ga e dire sepe gape se bo se kgotela loapi jaanong rona re simolotse jaanong gore re isekoletse gore ga di kgotele loapi number 1 number 2 ke gona gore santse re di launcha mme re dirisa ona motakase o leng teng mme the plan or the long term stations tse e leng gore ga o charge koloi ya gago o ta bo tsa marang a letsatsi o bo charge koloi ya go ka one o le kwa lapeng kana heta o le mo mo ditseleng tsa rona ka bo A1 yana emma
mme gongwe jaaka re lebile o mongwe batho ba e leng gore go tswa ko national e-mobility center le dirile ditshupetso ga ke bone dikoloi tsa lona ke bone le dibase tsa lona ga ke itse gore mo bathong ba ba leng teng ga jaaka ke tlhalosa about 500 what are you showcasing about your product
in our product we brought 3 different types mainly 2 types of the SUV I'll take them at one. One is standard, one is an executive. It's an electric vehicle. Gore ga e dirise motlakase, kara ga e dirise petrol kana diesel. Ya bobedi ke bus. Le one e la motlakase ga e dirise sepe gape konte ga motlakase hela. And then ya boraro ke leng gore e bitsa gote retrofitted, converted. Gore koloi go nena le engine ra bo re ntsha engine gore a gore ira gore e nne a motlakase le one. Mme le gore maikelo ke gore ha se di charger ha se re tsana ba tswana re ba encourage gore ha o lo go gae go sna motlakase o ka nna le lori mme le gore o ka tsenya maranga letsatsi ala kwa go go wona le chargering yana go go lapeng be gore wa charger ha o le mo toropong jalo hela o tsenya motlakase yana go wa maranga letsatsi ha o le mo A1 ha se re what do you call the fast chargers tse taboditse ngo ine gore ke tse go da off grid gore dirise clean energy e motsadi a rona ntsa bua ka yone
gongwe ntlhangwe tona buileng ka ne ke private capital investment into this wave yone ya clean energy ne ke batla go itse re ko National E-Mobility Center, the contribution of government again, and how are you pursuing to also get injection in private capital?
Very small, because there's a new technology. Usually, private sector will not put money in until they know what nya me madi a teng go lo. Ya no re simolotsa re go pila madi pele go pusong gore re simolole. Me a ka re simoletse yana. Hantse re buiseng a le puso go gone ano jana ke gore a re bateng private capital di neteng. So we are talking to investors right now from outside because madi a nta a go godimo. Me gape re boela gape le go batswaneng gore le lona batswana charging stations tse bo dira se o tla bo di duela tse di mo A1 tse di mo ditoropong tse di mo dimolong re tla gore di neala batswana mme santse re ramela bana a teng policy santse e dirwa the highest na go hetsela tabelang re bitsa batswana bote ba ke bo rakgwebo bo mmakgwebo re chance ke yo tsono ke yo betso gona gore re le nna ba di petrololote lona diram sa motlakase le charge le batho ba le duela price a teng ta be re tšele itwa hela ya kantsha ka petrol ntse re jitilwa ke bera mme bo gora gore gono bo rakgwebo ba tsana ba batswana ba mahatsha se le bone ba tatsa bona ka ba tsana ka teng policy tabe ba ka ha etsa tabe sena ra bitsa yano
gongwe ka jaaka no tlhalosa re santse re thuthuga mo mohameng ona ke itse le ko madirelong a rena gore ke madirelo a santseng a le mabotlana le ha re setse re kgona go ntsha dikoloi ga ke itse re gone mo phuthegong e ya beke Dr. Majele solofela way are you re tlhabolle ha re setse re ntse re direla teng go a bonala gore mo kgalong ya Afrika mahatsha le mantsi a tsantsa tsena mo go neng go dire dikoloi tsone tsena tsa motlakase
yes it's true ba tsena ba le bantsi ba ma Afrika mme rona kra se re loko pele go le ha tsela bozana la tebelo pele go gaisa bo botlhe mme re dimala go la ba ka simolola se re loko pele se re la ba buisana le rona already mo baagisanye in our neighbors ba re shara di bodar le bone skana ba ke ba bile ka maina pele ba teng gone ha ba bangwe ha that's why re tiste dikola gore re ska ba balisa mospelo gore ba e gore lente mme ba bata ile tsamba ta bana na gore ta ba isa go factory nya rona la santse le nyane mme hela ba sa ba buiseng a lorna gore a re ka tara di bona a re ka tsa di le mmalong ya ra go di lekeletsa and then re ba retsa re nya keletso ke yone gore ba ta le ire ya so we are already talking to them and we hope if they want to test drive, they can test drive them. Minister, permanent secretary, directors are here, total decision-making bodies are here. So with these 15 countries, out of them, thank you.
Ke ne ke buisana jalo le Dr. Maje, National E-Mobility Coordinator, ya go tla go supa maiteko a tsweletseng ke go dira ke le hatsela go tsana mo mohameng one wa e-mobility o itseng jalo motswana wetse gore o galelediwa thata segolo bogolo gore o ka fokotsa jalo kgotlelesego ya loapi mme re tla bo re ntse re tswelela jalo jaaka ke tlhaloso go na le baitsanape ba ba harologaneng gone ha go tla go bua ka dintlha tse di harologaneng tsa kgothetso mme ke batla gore ke nne ke go he jalo dintlha kana puisano le bone ka go harologana ga bone. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you, Professor. We've just come out of the opening ceremony. What has been your takeaway from the President's message?
Right, thank you very much. I think the President is very emphatic that the government of Botswana is willing to accelerate the transition in the energy space. And that's what we are ready for also.
Then obviously, can you just sort of explain to us what you do at your organization?
Okay, thank you. I represent the Soul Train project First of all, I'm a professor at the University of Botswana from the Clean Energy Research Center. And we run the Soul Train project, which I coordinate in Botswana. Soul Train is a regional project for 6 Sadc countries. And part of what we do is train experts, train citizens, train residents, train solar companies on the design, installation, and maintenance of solar thermal systems. And part of our advocacy is also, in addition to training, we install demonstration systems to show that these solar technologies can work and can be depended on. So we've done a lot of demonstration systems across the country, and we've done a lot of training for industry, for organizations, for young graduates, for BDF, for so many organizations.
How much interest is there?
Right. Well, first of all, our project is fully funded by the Austrian Development Agency. So we bring people in to come in for training free. And of course, you know, when it is free, you have people asking. We are sometimes oversubscribed by the number that we can actually train. But of course, there's still more to do to scale it nationwide. Currently, the concentration is here within GAPS, where the trainings are taking place and the demonstration systems. So there is quite a huge interest, and I think we're doing our little best to match the interest.
Would you be able to speak to the status of this country when it comes to transitioning into green energy?
Yes. Ordinarily, I would always tell anybody that if there is one country where solar energy should be the primary source of energy, it is Botswana. We are lucky we are sitting with so much irradiation that the best form of energy we should explore will be solar energy. And the country is already doing well. There are a lot of policies, the rooftop policy, so many initiatives. And the Soul Train project is just one of them that is trying to harness how we can affect our building codes and go back to solar water geysers and all of that. As we speak, there's so much interest and there's uptake. There's renewed uptake. And I think that Botswana is doing very well, and there's vast opportunity for solar energy.
Obviously, that's a point that's been belabored over the years, the fact that we have the solar energy and we need to sort of exploit it for our own economic benefits. But we seem to see a level of, appreciation, and to some extent, one would say, as you put it, we should be the centerpiece of appreciating what we have as a natural asset. But there seems to be challenges.
Yeah, for every form of energy, like it is commonly said, even globally, there is abundant energy from the sun. The real challenge is, do we have enough infrastructure to harness this energy? And when you talk infrastructure, you talk about finance. So yes, the energy exists, but there is need for infrastructure, and this infrastructure has to do with financing. And I think government is moving in the right direction, trying to seek various ways to finance, and that's where Soul Train comes in. Soul Train is one of those initiatives that is also helping in the financing and accelerating the uptake of renewable energy. So even though, yes, we do have abundant energy, we need infrastructure. We need appropriate financing to be able to harness this energy.
Obviously, that's what the president spoke to. He spoke about private sector financing. Just about 4 weeks ago in Tanzania, the African Development Bank, the World Bank, and the Rockefeller Foundation came in through and to make a commitment that by 2030, about 3 million people, 300 million Africans should at least be pushed into the grid. I don't know who else, what private sector mobilization needs to be done for the realization that countries like Africa have many other competing priorities to then put some of their money from the fiscus into energy.
Right, okay. If you look at the Soul Train project again, for example, we have what we call a bankable proposal that can assist the private sector key into this technology. And we've made some contact, developed a policy document that, if embraced by policymakers and the private sector, we will have the private sector coming in, bringing in finance, and of course, having responsible users who will also commit to some part of the funding. And that way we can all contribute our part. But again, everywhere in the world, energy access is more a challenge to government than the private sector. So government must take the lead, and the private sector will responsibly follow.
Are you making any presentations here, Professor? And if so, in what thematic areas will you be speaking on?
Yes, I will be speaking on solar thermal energy. I will be speaking on Wednesday. I invite you to the opening session of the Soul Train Conference. You know, we just opened the Sadc Energy Week. Within the Sadc Energy Week, there are 2 conferences, and one of them is the 8th Soul Train Conference. The last edition was held in Namibia. This edition is held here in Botswana, hosted by the University of Botswana. I invite you on Wednesday to be part of this process, and I'm sure you're going to love it.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Professor.
Thank you.
That was Professor speaking about one of the projects that they will sort of be exhibiting here. And he will also speak here on what they do during the week. As I did say, this summit will go on for the next coming days. I think we are towards the end of the program. There will now be a session where there will be thematic areas, then there will be panel discussions to speak to key areas around the issue of energy. I just want to once again make an emphasis on what the President did speak to. He has spoken literally making an emphasis on acceleration to energy access on the continent, really just acknowledging that a lot has been said. What really remains is to make sure that this really happens. But before we conclude, like re lo motsana we tsukere ga re ka ke ra tswala re sa bua lone monga mo letlo kana monga ne thulaganyo ke kopa go amogela meken window ke re alo ke re phutego e sa tswa go simolla jalo ta utonantsha molaetsa tota o tlhamaletseng. I think re ka simolla hela ka nna ntla ga go ya gore acceleration go tshwanetse fefuriwa go lomo e le go lemoga gore re buile go ntse go lekane
me ke simolla hela ka go leboga ke dumedise le batswana go gae ka nnete ta utona ntsa emella ha mme o re togetse ka lehoko a re tlhalosetsa jalo gore tota nako kgolo ke ya gore re thomamise gore re hetola ka ha re dirang dilo ka teng ebile re gatella kganye ya kgothetso ka gore tsotlhe tse di amanang le ka ha re tshelang ka teng di thoka motakase. Maybe o tshwanetse gore re simolole re itse gore motakase it's a human right. It's part of the basic needs mo nakong ya gompieno ka jalo ga go a tshwanela gore go nne le ope yo tlhokang motakase maybe o tshwanetse gore re thomamise gore mongwe le mongwe wa o afford ditlhwatlhwa tsa teng ke tse e leng gore ga o tsenya bata letsogo mo bateng wa kgona gore le wena o itshetse o kgona gore le wena o thomamise gore bana ba gago ba kgona gore ba tshube motakase ba dira di homework kana dilo tse ga gongwe ga re bua ka tsone o ithela re di bua at policy level mme re tshwanetse gore re di tsise ko goreng everyday mo matshelong a motho se re buang ka sone se mo ama jang ebile se ka hetola botshelo jang ke tsone di kgantse di tona tsa ileng gore tsatsi eno ne re simolla ka tsone mme ebile re sologela gore beke e yotlhe re taba re bua ka tsone gore gone mme re tsenya madi jang re tshwanetse re ratse kae bao ba ileng gore ba bata gore ba dire di innovations dio tse dišwa ba tshwanetse gore ba itshwaraganye le mang ba buisana le mang re tlhoka gore re hetole melao e ntseng jang gore re kgone gore re ba tolose le bone mme ebile re tlhoka gore re tshwaragane jang le mahatsha re ba pineng lone so that we can start to trade with each other kana ga se hela gore o dira motakase mo Botswana o bo hela mo Botswana nya re bata go kgotetsa mo Botswana gore re thuse le ba ba ko Zambia ba eleng gore ba thoka. That's why re na le the Southern Africa Power Pool
go mo le mojang tona gore be re kopana gape re kgagane ko Tanzania re ntse re bua ka tsone di kgantsena go mo ke go supa
ka re wa itse mo sepolo ra o tshwaragana
sarane se kealo ke re go mo tota go supa jalo gore kganye ya kgotetso tota e tshwentse thata se go le bogolo mo kgalong ya Africa re ne re utlwa jalo go na le private sector capital coming through ha re le ko Tanzania, World Bank, Rockefeller Foundation, le African Development Bank ke a itse gore gongwe mo ntlheng engwe ke makalana a leng gore a se tsantsa a tshwaraganetse mo sepolong le hatshela Botswana
ba ntse ba teng le gone ha mme e se bonagela ba re ba lebileng re lebile le dibanka mo Botswana le konte tse e leng gore le tsone di simolotse go kgathagela go ntsha madi a kgotetso mme e se kgotetso hela le dilo tsotlhe tse di ka thusang gore re gore go go kgothetseng tsotlhe tseo ke ra gore gongwe manufacturing of power of solar plants and manufacturing of the PVCs gona le ba bangwe ba ileng gore ba dirile di exhibition ha ga o ta o bona gore Batswana ba dira dilo tse dinte tse di kgathang tse ileng gore di rotwetsa gore re gore ga go ona maitamong a ileng gore ta utona na bua ka one
gongwe kganya a buileng ka ne re tsamaela gore ga re latona ke sa batla go tsana kwa ga go itona ke gone gore jaaka no tlhalosa gore dikgang tse re tshwanetse re di ise di trickle down to understanding ya Batswana. He has also said energy access is an economic imperative. Emma.
Ke yona kgang ene ke bua gore kana motakase ko ne o re o dirisang go tshuba ko lapeng go tshuba ko di businesseng le didiba tota di tlhoka motakase. O ithala ebile re simolola re lwa malatsi a gote nya se di ba sa me se tlhoka a solar plant a solar panel mme ebile re batla gore re thomamise gore dio tse di ntseng yalo di dirwa mo Botswana re kgona gore re bone madi a go di reka re rotloetsa bao ba di banka gore ba simolole go ikokwanya sente ba nne le di bond tse ileng gore di rotloetsa Batswana gore ba dirise dilo tsa maranyana a letsatsi ba ileng gore ba dira dibeke gona le ba ba dirang dibeke tsa bana ba sekolo tse di nang le one maranga wa letsatsi gore ba kgone gore ba tshube maitsebo ga ba tshwanetse go dira di homework ke di innovation tse ileng gore tsotlhe ga o di kopanya o lebella yana di thusa gore motho o ka gatala pele mo botshelong jwa gago ko pheleletsong e be re kgona gore le rona re ka bakanye itsholelo itsholelo ga se hela the global economy itsholelo e simolla mo lelapeng la motho gore a mme ene wa kgona gore a apeye sente ka gore electricity is also about clean cooking wa pasente ha beile yana ha simolle makgwagwa a gago a tsana ke sepe se se motshwenyang wa bona a o kgona gore a tshube sente gore bana ba kgona gore ba dire homework le bone ba nne sente mo lapeng ba ska ba tsenelelwa ke dirukuti le gona gore di business tseo le tsone di dire sente ha le gore wa roka o dira tse dingwe di motakase o botlhokwa it's an economic imperative as he said
ke a go leboga tona re reletsa masego le matlhogonolo as the host of this inaugural summit
ke a leboga mma
thank you Motswana wetso re ne re wetsa jalo tota thulaganyo ya rona mosong o ne le yone pulo semmuso ya Sadc Sustainable Energy Week e tlebeng e tsweletse jalo yone beke yotlhe jaaka tona tlhalositse go tla buisanwa gona le baitsanape gone hana gona le matona go tswa mo kgaolong ya Sadc a le supa mme itse jalo gore gantsi ga go dira jana matona a le teng ke gone gore baeteledipele ba sepolotiki ba tse boikarabelo ja megopolo e tlebeng e tla gore e tle re kopheletsong e nne tsone dio tse di ragadiwa mo matshelong a batho ga re tsamaye le ruri Motswana wetso Botswana television e tla tswella mo bekeng yone go tlisetsa matlhasedi a ditlabeng di buisangwa gone mo phuthegong ena ke realo ke re mme se tsamaile kgakala e tla re ntse re tsweletse jalo o Botswana television e go tlisetse dipuisanyo tse di tsweletseng
ke file mokgaotsane megadikgang wa BTV News a na re tsenya jalo ka tlhamallo mo thulaganyong ya pulo semmuso ya tiro e simololang mo go la gompieno ya Sadc Sustainable Energy Week tiro e butsweng semmuso ke tautona advocate Duma Boko jaaka ha o sa tswa go ipona motho wa gaetso mme jaaka ha sa tlhalositse ke phuthego e tlogotsang malatsi a le matlhano mme tla tsamarentse re boela go bone go utlwa gore ba bua ka gaeng se ba buang ka sone kono ke kgotetso e leng gore ke a sennela ruri mo kgaolong ya Sadc go rurihatsa gore kgaolo ya Sadc e nna le kgotetso e lekaneng e leng gore e lekane go re motho wa gaetso re simolla karolo ya Botswana Connects na ke one Rabanteng Kalakachane ke go amogela gone ha me re tla be re le mmogo go a kgona go yele ya bobedi a re boeka re lebeletse dingwe dithulaganyo tsa Botswana Connects